This week we're learning how to read the Bible, and I've been trying to give you 10 simple categories or steps to do it. Those categories are creation, fall, gospel, Israel, prophets, priests, kings, Jesus, churches, and finally. We've covered 3 so far. Let's see if we can tackle the next 4. So here's Israel in 45 seconds. God chooses a man named Abraham earlier in the Bible, and he promises that the gospel will be fulfilled through his family tree. And Abraham has this big descendant, what we call the Jewish people, the people of Israel. But the problem is they don't obey. Even though they have these great gospel promises from God, they keep believing the first lie, and they suffer the effects of the fall into sin. And so God's people are waiting for the perfect representative of Israel, the perfect Israel, to show up on earth. Then there are prophets. Prophets were just God's messengers to relay his message. The prophets were supposed to say, here's what God says, so that the people could be blessed by the voice of their heavenly Father. But there were 2 problems. The prophets were human, and because of the fall, they could be bribed. And even if they didn't, because they were human, they could be killed. And so Israel put to death all the good prophets and often embraced the ones who weren't so good. Israel was waiting for a perfect prophet, a perfect messenger. And then there were priests. Priests were supposed to bring sacrifices, substitutes that would die for sins in the place of sinful people. But there was a problem with the priests. The priests were corrupt. They would go through the motions of worship, but it wouldn't be in their heart. They would bring gimpy lambs instead of perfect sacrifices. And so Israel was also waiting for the perfect priest and the perfect sacrifice. And then there were kings. The people of Israel foolishly said, we want a human king to rule over us like all the other nations who don't know you, God. And so God gave them kings. I think about 40 kings to be exact. Except the kings were far from godly. The vast majority didn't worship God. Even the good ones who did fell into sins like adultery and murder, like King David. Israel was waiting for a perfect leader, a perfect king. And so the long story of the Old Testament is we need a perfect representative. We need a perfect prophet. We need a perfect sacrifice, a perfect priest. We need a perfect king. And he was coming because of the gospel. If you remember that, then you'll know how to read the Bible. Was today's message a blessing to you in your walk with God? We'd love for you to comment and to share with your family and friends the great things that God is doing in your heart through these messages.